is about to enter its 5th year, and that's all thanks to you. If you're new here, let me fill you in. XboxEra is a platform for the Xbox community with best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and of course XboxEra.com, chock full of the latest news, reviews and more, all focused on your favourite platform, Xbox. It's every Xbox fan's gateway to the best of XboxEra. Our incredible podcast listened to in over 50 countries across the planet, our own digital store for games and codes, our merch store for the coolest of Xbox threads, and of course Dayone, where you can track, rate and discuss your favourite games on Xbox Game Pass. XboxEra is built for you, and it's completely funded by you. If you value having a publication truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can support us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us build the next 5 years of XboxEra. Thank you for your support. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of XboxEra Headlines. The date is July 25th, and I'm Sick Mechanico. And today, Jesse and I will be taking you through all of the latest in gaming news from across the industry. And that's all of the platforms, Xbox and PC and PlayStation and all of that stuff. As a bonus for our wonderful patrons, we make audio versions of these episodes available to them via Patreon for use in their preferred podcast app. Try saying that 5 times fast. But if they're on Spotify, they can link their account to Patreon and listen to it right there. If you want to become a Patreon legend like those awesome people, simply head to patreon.com/XboxEra or become a YouTube member. We don't mind, but we prefer Patreon if we're honest. Hi, Jesse. How are you?
Good. I woke up extra early today because I was like, I got to go to the bathroom. And then I was like, oh, yeah, tomorrow we've got a subathon. So I might as well just get up at 6 a.m. instead of the normal 8 and be ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow 7 a.m. about, what is that, 21 hours from now?
All day long, baby.
Yep, I got I'm looking forward. I think you'll like Evil West. You played it, right?
I played it, yeah, I played it. I didn't get too far with it.
I've never played it in co-op, though. That's why I'm very curious about it, because it always had it, but we only had the one copy for review. So, and that was also when I was driving all the way up the east coast of the U.S. and reviewing the game at the same time, which was a thing. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. 21 hours from now, we'll be going for at least 12 hours, depending on how it goes, looking to raise money for our trip to Gamescom, which is all set up, ready to go.
We should call it Games Köln, because that's how Germany says Cologne. Köln.
I've got my...
Good.
Come on, unload, you piece of garbage. There it goes. I've got my app. It's all good to go.
Yep. We've built our calendar.
I was almost like, I'll show the ticket there. I was like, wait, no, it's a freaking QR code. No, I won't.
No. Yeah, we've there's so much.
It's exciting.
There's so much. We sat through, we did a call. I'm sure we mentioned this last time, but we've got quite a few things booked, but not crazy where we can't like relax. Like Nick was very disturbed to hear there would be any work whatsoever. Heaven forbid. Whoa, what is that? I don't, that's not why we're there. And I'm like, it kind of is. It's kind of the half the point. Yeah, I mean, at least
we'll get to meet some of our more European, Eurocentric, and some of the people who are flying very far, like Torn Raptor in chat. We'll get to meet people.
I know we get to meet Torn Raptor.
I know we'll get to meet some folks and all that stuff. Super nice. We'll get to meet industry people and see a lot of stuff. And I think he was more worried that we're going to go there and then go back to the Airbnb and just start typing and making videos. And it's like, we'll do that for some of the big ones. But I think, so the planning I had in my head, which I think you agree with, is when it makes sense, we'll do stuff when we're back at the Airbnb, maybe hang out and chat, use StreamYard to its full effect so that we don't have to have some whole giant editing or gaming laptop rig set up. But the main thing we'll try and do is, since there will be no podcast that weekend because we will all be flying. Everyone will be busy or flying or all that type of stuff. So if we can ahead of time record our general non-embargoed thoughts on everything we saw and then put that up as a premiere so people can hang out and chat with each other while they're going through all of it together, because that's what premieres are really good at. It's like a pseudo live stream. Yes, we have three of us are press credentialed. Myself, John, and Predrag, funnily enough, because we were the first 3 to submit. So we are all press credentialed. Nick and Ursel are like early ticket they bought to get in stuff. So we've got full press credentials. I've been getting, Jesus Christ, dozens of invites, like in the upper dozens now. There's a
crazy.
lot. Gamescom's very big, and we got a super chat.
Yeah. Oh. Of course, it's the wonderful executive producer known as Mohammed Therese, who says, what does Nick accept we are paying him to go work? What does Nick think except we are paying him I presume that means what it means, but okay. Yeah, what does Nick expect? We are paying him to go to work. Yes, you would think that, but Nick thinks it's a holiday. I do know, like, it's... all will be revealed, but there's plenty of surprises for you guys in store. Like,
we never go light.
Beyond excited.
We always do too much.
Yeah, that's pretty much the
like
standard,
it is funny.
right?
Like looking around at everyone else's, like not even just their content, but like their Patreons and their other stuff. It's like we go way above and beyond in general. I'm proud of us.
Yeah, I think that XboxEra's content and the Patreon is probably one of the best ones out there for gaming content. Full stop. Yeah, okay, it's Xbox focused gaming content, so you know Nintendo fans probably won't be fully at home. But if you're into multi-platform games, like it's a really good place to hang out. And we're so proud of you guys that are our community because you're just awesome. As such, when we do the subathon, if we do manage to hit certain targets, right, or if you guys have just been especially awesome on that particular day, there will be an unlockable teaser for #secret project coming your way. So, you know, keep an eye out for that.
I've seen it.
Yeah, subathon.
It's a good one.
Tomorrow, it is fun. Tomorrow, 7 a.m.
Eastern,
EST,
yeah.
midday UK time. I don't know what time that is, Australia time. Like 10 p.m. or something.
I think it's a little later. So if now is, or it's a little earlier, because if now is like 10 p.m., I forget. Someone was saying in chat. But yeah, it'll be late in the evening. It'll start in the evening for Australia, like later evening. And then
I was right. It would be 9 p.m. for them.
So later in the evening it starts.
At least Melbourne time.
That's why we got Nick early last time, and then we got him late because it was his morning once he woke up. So planning to go roughly 12-ish hours if it's still going really strong and going well. We'll start up a second stream, have it send everyone over to it. That way we don't lose the VOD like last time where there is no VOD of our first subathon because it went too long.
Which is really depressing.
Yep.
Fun fact, my missus is going out Friday evening and I don't have the kids here, hence why we picked this weekend for the subathon. So I had no other responsibilities. And she was like, should I come over? I'll probably be pretty hammered. And I was like, I won't be able to, you know, accommodate you in any way, shape or form. I'll probably still be streaming. And she's like, oh, and she's all sad. But I'm like, sorry, Patreon members come first.
And it's funny.
It's what it is.
Like Nick yelled at you last weekend on the podcast for not thanking patrons. Like I went back and listened.
I definitely did.
You absolutely did. But his superpower is making it very clear that he knows he is right, no matter how wrong he actually is. Like he knows he is right. It doesn't matter even if you prove it.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah. Accurate. Anywho, that's enough housekeeping. We hope you'll come and join us tomorrow. We'll be there all day, so feel free to pop in, pop out, come hang out with the team, prod us with questions, and help us raise those last bit of funds to make sure that we're not all destitute and can go to Gamescom.
Well, he's not destitute because he gets all the financial burden. As much as we make fun of him, but I think everything else.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. But I'm looking forward to it either way, and I think the next couple of weeks are going to be very special for this community, for XboxEra as a platform, and I am so unbelievably hyped. I can't wait to talk to everybody about it. Very excited. Can't wait.
We got tomorrow the subathon. We got 3 things next week. They're all nicely spread out. And then from there,
you've got a really good thing next week.
Yeah, and then from there, it all just goes on and doesn't really slow down too much. It just keeps going.
Indeed. But let's get into the news. Let's get into all of the news, including the headline topic for today, which is, and I have to give everybody kind of like the benefit of the doubt. A lot of folks, including like us, in terms of shorthand, is when we think of Ziff Davis, we think of IGN. That's it. It's just IGN Entertainment, right? That's pretty much the big arm, but it's owned by a parent company called Ziff Davis. And indeed, despite releasing the really, really highly rated Bo, which is
just a ton of games, Slay the Spire. You can go down the line on Humble Games. They have
very lovely games.
Yep.
Right, is the point here. Incredibly curated, well made.
Lots of Game Pass deals.
Humble Games.
So Game Pass killed another one.
And they're gone. 36
not
developers.
Gone. So,
I was going to clarify.
Yeah, so. I put up the story and immediately got the press email about, hey, there's a social media post about this. They're saying it's not shutting down and nothing in production is affected, but they fired everyone. Like every single person that actually works there is gone. So it's kind of like 2K Australia when they
they're not shut down.
Yeah, but there's no one there. So it's like,
it feels crap.
A lot of people thought they are IGN because IGN bought Humble Bundle, who owned Humble Games.
Correct.
But it seems like there was some sort of internal reshuffling, probably for the editorial side of things, because IGN still reviewed all Humble Games titles. Like they just
these are awesome.
They would put a thing that that they are owned by IGN's parent company Ziff Davis. So at some point it was rearranged. So Humble Games, instead of being under Humble Bundle, was now under Ziff Davis umbrella, like alongside IGN and all that type of stuff. So, but in the long run, still reviewing their own shit, which is always weird, but unavoidable when you now own so much, it seems.
Yeah, like, and there was an article about it on IGN, but you don't see the same kind of uproar and conversation that you do in social media, like on Twitter and elsewhere, about this kind of thing from IGN employees. Why? Because it's their job, and they can't really. You don't bite the hand that feeds. Do you know what I mean?
How much did you hear about all the people at Gamer Network that were fired after they were bought? Like, IGN bought Gamer Network, which was like Eurogamer and a bunch of other sites, and a lot of people were let go, and you never saw outrage about it, really. It was
and that just goes to show that online outrage is usually absolute bollocks. But anyway, let's listen to Humble Bundle's press representatives with the full statement for the sake of dragging this show out to its full documented hour-long shenanigans. They have said, and brace yourself, people, it's corpo speak time. I'll put on a corpo voice. In these challenging economic times for indie game publishing, Humble Games has made the difficult but necessary decision to restructure our operations. This decision was not made lightly. It involved much deliberation and careful thought, with the goal of ensuring the stability and support of our developers and ongoing projects. Additionally, the restructuring of operations at Humble Games will have no impact on operations at Humble Bundle. We are acutely aware, here come the platitudes, of the profound impact this decision has on our team members at Humble Games and deeply empathize with everyone affected. Our team's contributions have been world-class and invaluable, supporting the launch of our games since we started publishing in 2017. We are committed to navigating this transition with as much empathy and understanding as possible. Thankfully, there's no one left to empathize with. Supporting our development partners and assisting former team members remains our top priority. We are committed to making this transition as smooth as possible for everyone involved. Thank you for your support and compassion during this challenging period. It is deeply appreciated. I have support and compassion for the 36 fired employees.
Yes.
I do not have much support and compassion for the remaining middle manager that somehow kept his job and typed out that. Just saying. Bleh.
There's a good point in the chat from Torn Raptor. That's why it's important for independent guys like XboxEra to cover what the bigger guys won't when they are compromised for various reasons. And that's why if you like us, you go to that Patreon that's at the top of the chat. Like, it's the only way we can keep going and doing what we do, because John's freaking house payment's going up £500 for no reason other than they can. Lots of stuff like that going on. And unless hashtag secret project is like some crazy plan to make us billionaires.
I mean, I know, right?
Yeah,
what if hashtag secret project?
We are
is like
fully
actually,
fan funded, essentially. So that's why we love
we owe you
so much.
We owe you.
But yeah, it's it's also like it's really hard to make any money online just from the way people used to. Like the sponsorship deals, the ad money, the way search engines work now, like all of it is constantly fighting because there's oodles of money out there, but it just goes to very specific things. And guides are like king. There's nothing bigger in gaming than guides. That's why IGN's guide team is so large, because
and we don't have the time to do that.
Yeah, like I just tried to get a few things here and there together when I had early code on something you were reviewing. I forget which one. Oh, I got stuff for Hellblade, but like I don't have it in me to just walk around and say this is where you get every 100%. Like that Patrick Macca, I don't know how he does it. I would go insane.
It's impressive.
Yes,
it is
extremely.
Impressive. Like some people are just built in a different way.
He loves getting the stuff, and he's gotten really good at having that workflow to get through and to do it all. So it's
fun. It's fun.
It's just, but even like Humble Games seem super successful. Like they put out a lot of really good stuff. They got also a lot of Game Pass deals. Like one thing Jason Schreier was talking about on Twitter today is one of the toughest things about covering games compared to covering movies is none of the financials are like public. Like we don't know what a game makes. You know what a movie has made. It's just right there when it's at the movies. It's said outright. And all people will attach themselves to is something like concurrent users on Steam, even though it doesn't mean much. It's the only metric they have, though, so they add just so much to it. Because, like, people look at Starfield like, oh, there's hardly any concurrence on Steam. And it's like, well, yeah, but that was only ever as far as we knew, about a quarter of its players compared to Xbox, which was 75%. It's like, in most scenarios, we don't know. How is Humble Games doing? We don't know. Things feel successful. They're critical darlings. Do they sell? We just have no idea. And it makes all of this always feel bad because you've got the money to go buy Ziff Davis, but now Ziff Davis has the money to go buy Gamer Network, but they don't have the money to keep what seemed like a successful publishing company around. But again, we also don't know.
What do we know?
Yeah.
What do we know?
It feels shitty because it is.
Oh man, it's depressing. Torn Raptor in the chat, time to move to Australia. You know, if I didn't have kids, I would. Like, and it's not that I wouldn't want to move to Australia with my kids, but their kids have a right to see their mum, and I don't have the right to just yoink them away. But I'd love to move around a little bit.
Yeah, that was us with because my wife really liked New England when she visited, but having two small kids, they just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But yeah, there you go. So tip one out for Humble Games. They released some really great stuff. Let's see what happens going forward, but I'm not expecting much, right?
Yeah.
I see you, Trav. John blaming his kids again. Yeah, it's definitely mostly their fault.
Mm-hmm.
But there you go. Next up in the news, this is good news.
Mm-hmm.
This is pretty good news all the way around.
This has been the only positive.
No, there's some bad news in here.
This has been the main positive stuff lately.
Yeah. World of Warcraft's entire development team, like, underline that. That's a big deal. Entire development team at Blizzard has officially unionized. This is via Rebecca Valentine at IGN. Earlier today, an official vote of over 500 eligible employees working on World of Warcraft was tallied and certified. With this, Blizzard Entertainment has its first ever wall-to-wall union, which encompasses the entirety of the game development team instead of just like the QA guys. The union includes designers, engineers, producers, artists, QA testers, and other developers, most of whom are based in either Irvine, California, or a part of a smaller team in Massachusetts. This group is called the World of Warcraft Game Makers Guild, or WOWGG, and is a part of Communications Workers of America. I mean, typical gaming union. They call it a guild.
Yeah, because
Like,
guilds
love it.
were the thing in WoW. Like, you were part of a guild. So if you're going to be any group of anything around World of Warcraft, it's going to be called a guild.
Yeah. Yep. So there you go. Really, really good news. And again, is Microsoft cool with this? How are they feeling? Well, they've said they're entering into negotiations with the CWA to effectively, like, let's make sure it's recognized and certified and that we're all in agreement. But they haven't been like, no, this mustn't happen.
They went into the neutrality agreement with the CWA, which was like, we will not stand in the way. We're not going to say, yay, go do it. We're not going to say, hey, don't, because there's been a lot of union busting in America, always, especially lately. Like, and it's actually really hurt Starbucks. Starbucks also been boycotted big time for over the whole issue in Palestine and Gaza and all that. But a lot of anger about union busting, really bad. So from Microsoft's point of view, I think for them, wow, somebody just sent us an email offering us the Gamescom 2024 visitors list. So fucking somebody's got the contact list for the attendees that they sold to this shitty company.
No.
Oh yeah, no, they've already got the whole. Yeah, they'll sell you everyone that's there and all their info. That's why it sucks.
That's not it. That must be just to you.
No, it's in junk mail because it's a piece of shit.
Holy shit.
Yeah, no, it happens every year. It happens with everything. So if you're going to Gamescom, and I won't click it, but it's got an attendees button at the top there, and you just see everyone that's going, and there's like thousands of people, and so somebody just sold that info because they suck. But yeah, union's good. Ugh. They don't stop mass layoffs, but they can negotiate better packages when you're going. They can they're there to fight for you, essentially, to help your rights. They won't be able. They're not gonna be able to change labor laws too much. But yeah, that is the Gamescom app. What do they call it?
The Gamescom Biz app?
Yeah, Gamescom Biz app. And you just log in with your account. I already had one from doing the whole press setup stuff on a jig. So, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, Microsoft have made one statement on this at the end of the story. They've said, we continue to support our employees' right to choose how they're represented in the workplace, and we will engage in good faith negotiations with the CWA as we work towards a collective bargaining agreement. So, nice. Good news all around. Love it.
It's only going to be good news all the way down from here. It's not going to get any worse.
No, it gets pretty bad. There is one bad thing in there that's pretty rough, bro. I said that and then I read that and I was like, no, this is pretty bad. But let's see where we go. Next up, this kind of to give you guys a little bit of an inside
you mean the collective
scoop.
Bargaining thing?
No, I mean the ROBLOX story. That's pretty rough.
Oh yeah, I was just talking about in general. I think I meant that story itself, but even the next one isn't great.
Yeah. S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. We actually got an email a little bit earlier on today about
and
this.
And we didn't go blabbing to everyone like people love to do the moment a fucking email goes out.
We drafted it, we scheduled it for the appropriate time, and then we got a follow-up email that says, some jerks spilled the beans early. You may as well just go now. So we did. And indeed, S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 is delayed until November for 2 months of extra polish and shine, which is fine. Like, this isn't something to get upset or annoyed about, people. In fact, considering of when it was coming out, which was September 9th, like, I'm kind of glad.
I think it was the 5th.
Because we would have all been September 5th. You're
Space
right.
Marine 2
we would have just been swinging our way back from Gamescom, and it would have been rush. So yeah, delayed until November. But as a consolation prize, on the 12th of August, they're dropping a very lengthy deep dive trailer where they're showing never before seen content, interviews, behind the scenes looks into development footage, world overviews, locations, gameplays, and even a full quest walkthrough.
Yeah, because it sounds like the game's done, but they have got a bunch of bugs they really need to work on.
Yeah, and honestly, this is pretty par for the course game dev. It looks like crap until the last couple of months.
I've been hearing that a lot about Star Wars Outlaws and the leaked footage, and I'm like, they were doing a preview event that like Mike Minotti and a bunch of other people went to. If they have footage for that, that footage is probably old. Like they get a build that works and is stable, and they polish it up a little bit so it doesn't look too bad. But the game's probably going to look noticeably better by the time you get to it in full.
Yeah, we look forward to it. Direct quote from Yevhen Grigorovich. I'm going to go for that. That sounds about right. Game director at GSC Game World. Apologies if I've butchered your name. He's quoted as saying, "We know you might be tired of waiting, and we truly appreciate your patience. These 2 additional months will give us a chance to fix more unexpected anomalies, or simply bugs, as you call them. We are always grateful for your ongoing support and understanding. It means the world to us. We're just as eager as you are to finally release the game and for you to experience it for yourself." And there is an additional bit in here, and I'm going to read this out. As per the press release, since the very start of Russia's full-fledged war against our country, GSC Game World has been supporting Ukraine in all ways possible. For those willing to do the same, we recommend following a link to the official charity fund of Mr. Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine himself. And it's funny, I put a comment when I released this story on Twitter, and I was just like, you know what? I hope people go easy on these developers, because it's hard enough making a game, let alone, when you're being shot at. And I'm being glib, all right? It's hard to be glib about being shot at, but I was being glib. And there's always someone out there that's like, well, that's not accurate. And like, I have to ask you, this person has replied to me saying they're not being shot at. 80% of Ukraine goes on about their lives like nothing's going on. I'm like, do you feel good writing that? Just like, does that make you feel better about yourself?
Well, he
you know what I meant.
Tipped his fedora at the end of it. And it's like,
get the hell out of here.
Well,
honestly, people.
Actually.
But yeah, best of luck to GSC Game World. It does look great. And having played it, I played it at Gamescom last year. It was rough around the edges, but you could see that there was something very compelling underneath some of those rough edges. And I hope that the last year and a bit of dev time plus these extra 2 months will bring it up to a fine mirror shine, and people have a really good time with it. So yeah, good for them. Next up, this is a funny one, because I haven't like my Forge addiction. I've managed to break it. I haven't logged into Forge in a while. I wonder why that could be.
It was broken for
project.
you. You didn't actually try and break it yourself. You were beat over the head.
I was forced to step away from the Forge tools. Halo Infinite is getting an update. Campaign music is coming to Forge, along with a whole other load of stuff. So this is more in the scripting side of things. If you're into that, anyone listening,
you're not.
I am not a scripter. The most scripting I've ever done was I made vehicles explode when they touched the water in one map. That was it, and I had to ask someone how to do that. But yes, 343 have added Halo Infinite's campaign music systems to Forge with a variety of situational nodes in scripting to give as much control as possible to creators. This is written by Soulblazers over on XboxEra.com. So the music control works exactly how it does in the creation of the campaign. The tracks that you can use are divided into various themes, and you can trigger things to happen at certain times along with waypoints. There's stuff for VIP mode. Match composers out already. They've got a lot to play with, and I expect some really, really cool experiences.
Yeah, because one of the big things is also it's like 1,000 voice lines from Stelzer, like running riot, like all that stuff. There's all his voice lines now you get to throw in.
Yes, 1,000 lines from him, which is pretty cool. So I do know, and it kind of makes me sad, because I did have very close to having an invasion level completely built out. If you were a fan of Halo Reach Invasion, I was working with someone in the scripting guild. The level was complete, like the level was designed, and it was just the game scripting flow, and it was so smart. I need to pester him about that, but where I've been busy, I've not really pestered. So
yeah, I think another big thing was like they're bringing back the MVP game mode for the first time in a long time.
The VIP mode.
VIP, that was it. Okay,
yeah. It is pretty cool. So it's nice to see some extra things.
They're always still doing on it. It's in light maintenance mode, but it's not like abandoned.
Yeah. Despite everyone going, free for free. How you free for free? Just let them do their thing. Should be fun.
That game was terrible, by the way. Ignore all the initial reviews and how much everyone loved it around launch.
it's the classic Halo cycle. I've seen people going who hated Halo 5 like 4 years ago. Now, bring back Halo 5. That was the golden era. I'm like, fucking hell. Here we go again. Oh dear. Anyway,
I don't think Armor Lock ever got that though. That was like the one exception.
Armor Lock sucked forever and always.
Yeah.
It was bad. Reach was the beginning of the downfall for me, but that's just me from a multiplayer perspective, anyway. Next up, Bloober Team out of nowhere have signed a license agreement with Viacom. This is written by Jesse Donkabesa Norris over at XboxEra.com.
I barely read anything though. I just mostly copy the press releases.
This is via friend of XboxEra, Moro NL on Twitter, who noticed that Bloober Team, who are currently working on the Silent Hill 2 remake, have signed a deal with Viacom to use their IP in their upcoming Project F. Below is their text translated from their website blog post here. Yeah, I won't read it out. It's just, we're going to do a license fee with
so
Viacom
in Poland, it seems like whenever you do any type of deal, you have to file for it. So that's why all their stuff's always out. So they might give it a code name, but like, unlike here, you pretty much just have to immediately, it feels like, publicly file it, because whenever they do something, it's through one of these legal filings that Moro keeps up with, and they threw it on their website.
It's pretty cool though. So good for them. I wonder what do Viacom own?
They were Paramount, or will be. Viacom's companies. Could be a Star Trek Bloober game, but yeah, they own. It might not be Paramount anymore. Nickelodeon, MTV, Comedy Central, BET, and more. They own a lot of stuff. They are very big.
Is there any horror stuff in there? Because that feels weird for a Bloober Team who have traditionally made psychological / horror games to suddenly be like, I'm not picturing a SpongeBob SquarePants game from Bloober. Do you know what I mean?
Little kids liking their friggin' horror games lately.
Oh, yeah, maybe it's like a
South Park horror game. But
yeah,
they own
Raptor in the chat. Bloober doing a Borg game.
Yeah, they own Paramount, so Transformers, Star Trek, Mission Impossible, 8 trillion other things. Like they own a lot of stuff.
There's something to play around with there. We'll see. But yeah, lifelong Trekkie, Torn Raptor. So better than Star Wars. What can I say?
Very different. They're both set in space. That's about the only thing that's similar to them.
That is pretty much it. They have Star in the name.
Yeah, one's a political, like utopia focus thing, and then the other one is like pulp Flash Gordon that tried to get political in the prequels, and it wasn't good.
This is how democracy dies. To thunderous applause.
Misa no wanna kill democracy.
Oh, it's so cringe. Next up, and this is not a good story. I can't believe this is the first time I've read this today. This is via VGC, written by Tom Ivan. ROBLOX reported over 13,000 incidents of child exploitation in 2023, but the company denies claims that child endangerment is widespread on the platform. US police have reportedly arrested at least 24 people since 2018 who have abducted or abused victims that they met on ROBLOX. Can we just pause for a second here?
And they're legally correct in that it's not a widespread platform because Roblox has like 300 million users a month. So statistically, not the worst. But for any parent or caring, empathetic human, horrifying.
I'm gonna make my son read this story because he always comes to me with Dad, I need this so I can get free Roblox coins. I'm like, it's a scam. He's like, yeah, but they're free. I was like, bro, anytime it's free, it's a scam. Like, you just need to stop asking me. It's always a scam. He's like, yeah, but no, scam. So I'm going to show him this and be like, see those scams? Yeah. But anyway, this is according to data compiled by Bloomberg as part of an 8-month-long investigation into the popular online game platform, which has some 77 million daily users, over 40% of whom are under the age of 13. The report, which Bloomberg claims shines a light on the platform's predator problem, reveals that in 2022, Roblox reported almost 3,000 incidents of child exploitation to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, a figure which jumped then to 13,000 last year. That is nuts.
Ooh, there's a channel of
what did
531 people watching. Free $100,000 Robux giveaway live. Robux giveaway. It's definitely real. I just type Roblox into YouTube, and that's the first thing.
That's gross. What did Roblox have to say? Well, let's find out. In a statement issued to VGC, a Roblox spokesperson claimed a recent article contained glaring mischaracterizations about how we protect users of all ages on the platform and fail to reflect both the complexities of online child safety and the realities of the overwhelmingly positive experiences that tens of millions of people of all ages have on Roblox every single day.
It's positive for them because they're just spending insane amounts of money. But the funny thing about Roblox is it makes all this money, but it's so focused on IP theft. Like it's
crazy they haven't been sued out of
because it's user generated IP stuff, but you can still normally go after and say like, hey, that's not okay. Like this Sonic was actually in there. I don't think they have had a lot of crossovers now, but like you just type Roblox in here and it's just the weirdest shit. Like Roblox is such a weird goddamn thing. Why is it like a Horizon Adventures popping up?
I hate it. I hate it.
It's one of those things we'll never understand. It's not going to be our generation, but I am really curious what history ends up looking at for Roblox, because it's on everywhere. Like it hadn't been on PlayStation, now it is. Been on Xbox a long time, but it is a more curated version on those platforms. Kids always want to play on PC because it's just the Wild West on PC with modding and doing awful shit. But like the very first thing for Roblox being this fucking giveaway, I'm like, oh my god, no. But that's so much of it. There's this cottage industry of people whose entire job, their entire life, is to try and trick people into giving them money in exchange for like gift cards. Like, hey, buy these gift cards on Google. Send them to me, and I'm going to give you twice as much in cash. And it's like, and people fall for it. And there are people
out there that fall for it. It's so sad. Mental, absolutely mental. Yeah, Nick would probably fall for that.
Quick, rename this live stream to Roblox giveaway with Jon and Jesse.
We'd get loads of views. We should do that just for a laugh one day. Oh, funny. Love it. Next up in the news, via VGC, this is PS5 update adds game session invites with a URL and a new voice command, including some performance and stability improvements. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel here for news now, people.
I just thought it was interesting that like people were trying to push this as like really smart and brilliant. I'm like, I don't know, like
this is a thing on Discord for ages.
Yeah, it's like it's always one of those things where it's like you can tell the people who only use one ecosystem, especially like Apple fans, and they're like, "Oh shit, look at this amazing thing!" And like that's been on iPhone or Android for like a decade. It's not new. Yeah. Also, like your iMessage isn't better than the actual texting service that everyone else uses. It just only works with you, so it feels better. Like this is good. There are good updates. You can set your own personalized 3D audio profile, which as a father of a son with a PlayStation 5 and all his friends, and I asked, do you guys ever use the like 3D audio? Did you send in a picture of your ear? And it's like, no. Like it's always weird when the market leader catches up and people have to treat it like it's something amazing. That's the only reason I put this one in, because there were other things, but I was kind of like, I've been hearing people talk this week in ways about gaming that makes it unbelievably clear that even if they say I have everything, you don't use it, because like the actual UI and what it offers on the PS5 is mediocre, and having to pay for cloud saves and all that type of stuff, the amount of button presses to get through things, like it was a hell of a lot better on the PS4, but people were very happy because it just looked and felt new when the console launched. But the actual reality of using it is it's just a slog half the time, and so much of this generation is going to be them trying very hard to get it back to the PS4's usability levels, only then to immediately probably get rid of all of that.
Restart it all. Chuck it all in the bin. I mean, you're right in that it becomes very obvious when people only use one platform. I watched a little bit of the lovely Jeff Grubb's Game Mess, and I can't remember the name of the guest, and I apologize for not remembering the name, but there was some discussion around third-party games on Xbox and how Xbox only announced one third-party game at the showcase.
Yeah,
And
on Game Pass. Yeah.
I'm like, sorry, what?
Yeah, actually, I
sure?
know them, and I reached out and was like, it was actually, and I was like, I'm not trying to defend the company, but it's like there were 7 third-party day one Game Pass games.
I mean, come on, though.
Yeah, and
you go on and you spout something as absolute fact, and it's completely wrong.
yeah, I mean, it happened. We got Nick on our show. That's all he does.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's accurate. That's accurate. I don't know, man. No, like it's just it.
I don't think it comes
a little bit of
I don't think it comes from a bad place. I think it just comes from everyone I know, everyone in this area, everyone I work with, they all don't use it. I don't keep up with it as much. Like, I know the PlayStation 5 and I know the Switch and all that stuff, but I don't know them as well as I know Xbox and Steam because I use those ecosystems more.
Yeah, it makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. I just thought it was amusing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there you go. I mean, if you're going to make a point using information, just make sure the information.
It's always one of the tough things. It's tough to generalists versus like a lot of people say, "Wow, they're a genius about this." Like Ben Carson, genius at surgery on the brain, but at everything else seems like a moron. Like that type of specific brilliance on one thing is very useful for that one thing. It's just when they start trying to go and talk around everything else that it falls apart and you're like, oh, okay, so they're not smart, they're just really good at that one thing, but they're not generally intelligent. Oh, I saw it. Executive producer asked about a cat, so here you go. She's been there all day making it hard for me to work.
I say my cat, anecdote time with my son yesterday, and it's like, Dad, I look out of the kitchen window and Boots, our only surviving cat now, is just curled up in the middle of the freaking road. Like, just asleep. Right, just sitting there like, eyes closed. And I'm like, ah! So we're running out there and she's just like running around in the road and she refuses to come in. And it was carnage. But cats are dumb. I wish my cat would just meow and come and settle down somewhere, but no, she has to go sleep in roads.
Yeah, Oreo is, I think, on the porch most of the day, but Jojo
Sensible
always
cats.
right here, and they don't go outside. It's Florida. It's really hard to be an outdoor cat in Florida.
Fair. Lots of
and by the way, if you want to buy that Gamescom's list, you get company name, web address, contact name, title, industry, city, state, country, phone number, fax number, verified email.
Ugh.
I know, I fucking hate it. And it's like,
people suck.
I know people are, we all got doxed at E3. It's like, but the list is also always there for Gamescom. It's just, is one person going to be a big enough of an asshole to try and sell it? And yeah, of course.
Yeah.
There's like probably 10,000 goddamn accredited people. So.
Yep. Next up in the news, if you're interested in Amazon's New World Aeternum, the closed beta signups are available now. If you don't know what New World Aeternum is, this is via Xbox Wire. It's an action RPG set on a supernatural island of Aeternum in the twilight of the Age of Exploration. You'll be a shipwrecked explorer who washes ashore on the mysterious island, forge your destiny on an adventure filled with danger and opportunity. This is basically a big MMO RPG.
Yep.
Action MMO.
People really liked early on, but like most of these things, it's very hard to keep your whole player base. But if you are the type that's looking for, I imagine, free to play, man, it'd be rough to not be free to play in one of these nowadays, unless your World of Warcraft's the only one that really gets away with it. But yeah, they got a beta. It's opening up very soon. I think 1 p.m. according to chat, my time. Yep. So a few hours from
4
now.
p.m.
Yeah,
Europe time, 9 a.m. PT.
Okay,
from
so
today
noon.
until July 31st.
Yeah. So they called it a closed beta. I don't know how hard it is to sign up with those sometimes. Like Marvel Rivals was tougher to get, but I was able to nicely ask for some codes for us. Predrag likes it, but says it's very imbalanced. Nick said it controls kind of weird. I haven't played it yet. For Marvel Rivals.
Predrag's a big Predrag Overwatch fan as well.
Overwatch is his game. Like, I think I've played a lot of Overwatch, and I think he's played like 7 or 8 times as much as me, and I have played a lot of Overwatch. Like if there's a game Predrag is going to play most nights, it is Overwatch. And he said he played Marvel Rivals and he absolutely dominated everyone and he had a fun time. Like it's nothing,
well,
nothing amazing.
Maybe that could be
but,
Predrag's first review.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like maybe that's he'd be down for that. He's the expert. But yeah, it is as simple. If you want to participate in the New World Aeternum beta, you sign on your console, launch the Xbox Insider Hub app, install it if you haven't got it, navigate to previews, New World Aeternum, select join.
Nice and easy.
It'll register and you're in. It's that simple.
Yeah,
so you can go.
People like this one because it is more of like the actual real time running around third person combat. It's not like turn-based or anything like a World of Warcraft would be. It looks nice. It looks like it's running pretty well. Good frame rate because this appears to be the console version. They're playing with a controller. It's a little closer. I'm not seeing any mouse or keyboard stuff. Bog standard MMO RPG in a lot of ways I've heard, but also like a solid one. I think it is just, it's a tough nut to crack genre-wise on trying to build up a big player base in one of these games. So
yeah, absolutely. And thank you for totally ad-libbing there while I was arguing with my son. He's like, I can't connect to Izzy. It's his cousin. I'm like, I ain't doing anything about it right now, mate. You have to wait 10 minutes. Fun. Anywho, next up, EA have cancelled the rather unpopular Apex Legends Battle Pass changes following outcry from fans. Indeed, if you're an Apex player, this was all over the internet. And we've got the story from VGC, Tom Ivan here. Nutshell, what they were doing was with Season 22, 2 $10 battle passes per season rather than one, with more levels in them as each. And they would remove the ability to purchase premium battle passes using the game's virtual currency, Apex coins. Players were not pleased with this change. And EA have said, yeah, all right, we're sorry. We're going to restore the ability that you can buy them for Apex coins. We recognize we could have handled the battle pass changes better. That's on us.
No shit.
So yes, there you go.
Yeah, that was
whoops.
They were trying to split it in two. So every battle pass you had to buy twice, and you could not buy it with the in-game grindable currency anymore. And I get it. Like once you give away so much of that currency, your core player base almost never has to spend any money anymore if they don't want to. It's that tough thing. It's like people get really mad at microtransactions in games, but companies keep doing them because it's one of the only guaranteed ways to like make a bunch of money.
Alive.
Yeah, because you'll put out your single player stuff, or like Concord's going to be doing their $40, no battle passes, everything free. If there's any monetization, I imagine it might be like just buying skins at some point. I don't know.
Cosmetics.
But like, people always talk about player counts. Like Baldur's Gate 3 is still getting over 100 grand a day. And it's like, that's impressive. But unless they're buying new copies, it doesn't make them any money. So at the same point, it's good. It's good people are playing your game, and hopefully it means more buying it over time. Hopefully that is the case, but it's not a guarantee. The only guarantee is the games like Destiny 2 and Warframe and Fortnite and all the big ones that are constantly pushing their microtransactions. It's because people buy them. Like they buy them hand over fist. It's like getting angry at gambling sites for letting people gamble. It's like, at what point?
The thing is, and we've had this conversation many times, like the problem with big new players in that kind of market, you know, be it the free to play or the pay, buy a copy and then we'll do everything for free. Like let's look at Concord, right? They're proceeding with launch. There's no indications that they're going to slow down or stop. And if that doesn't sell enough, they're going to have to stop. It's as simple as that. That will come out. They'll go, shit. And then that's it. It's just
Sony's never shown themselves to be a company that will stick with something over the long haul. They're not Ubisoft, who people always go at, but Ubisoft's going to support something like Skull and Bones forever because they'll properly scope support on it so that their core group pays for that. Like the only time they missed was the Division 2. They actually spun up another team to start putting out more Division 2 content, which has now led to them starting Division 3 as a project because as much as people go after Ubisoft, like their formula works really well for most customers. It's just not the loud ones. They do appeal to the more casual ones who are like, well, I bought this game for $30 on sale, and now I've been playing it for like 300 hours, and it's all I've played for the last year. Like that, there's way more like that than there are like us in the long run for some companies, like who they're going after. It's not always going to be every game's for everyone. And if Concord can find that small group that sticks in there and they start doing skins and stuff like that, it could work, except Sony always has huge scope. Like they have huge budgets and they're not known for sticking with things. So that's what makes me worry for the devs.
They're also not known for pivoting. Like there was lots of conversation of, you look at the player counts, you look at the reaction, you look at the muted reaction, you know, maybe you pivot now and you say, late. Hey, let's just make it free to play.
Way too late. Like the game is not built around it at all. So you can't just bolt it on. Like you have to, that's the hardest thing, is having that constant influx of new content. And if your influx of new content is every week there's like a new cutscene to work towards in the story and that type of stuff, that's not free to play. Like it takes an entire publisher to make Fortnite what it is, and then Fortnite sets all of those expectations that no one else can match because they are not an entire publisher.
And that's the other problem, is there are so many of these big games existing with so many people already invested. You're effectively saying to the already existing and invested audience, come play this one instead. And they might, but then they'll remember that they've invested $3,000 in those other ones that they've played for years, and they'll go back there.
And it's been
because that's where their investment is.
It's really bad timing again, like hit Horizon 2 with Elden Ring, where Marvel Rivals, even if it's not a great game, is one of the bigger IPs possible, and Overwatch 2 is still enormous no matter what people seem to think. That game is gigantic. Like it just keeps gaining more new players, and they've got a new season coming, and they're all like, you end up seeming to get a lot of stuff in Game Pass with all the heroes and whatnot. So yeah, it's stuff. Valorant, if that hits as well, is a similar, it's a hero shooter, but a much more like hardcore one shot, one kill type. But still, it is another hero shooter that is also going to be, hey, you get every character, every operator in Game Pass and a 20% bonus. Like, I don't know. There's just, it's a really tough field.
343's next Halo announce will be like, well, mate, we're trying to get into a hero shooter. Here you go. And everyone will be like, it'll be uproar. That was a joke. All right, internet, shut the fuck up. Last story of today as we close things out. Good news, Fallout fans. Yes, the TV show was excellent. Yes, it resulted in a resurgence, being all of the games being played again, particularly for Fallout 4, which ended up in like top sellers for a couple of months in April and May. But now there's a whole new kind of Fallout to get to grips with, provided you're on PC and provided you're willing to downgrade your game. Fallout London is now available on GOG. There are specific instructions if you want to go and try it out. You need to have Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition on Steam. You need to then follow the instructions provided by the team that have built the mod, which is Team Folon. You have to downgrade your game from the updated Bethesda version and then install the Fallout London mod via their dedicated launcher.
The only one it doesn't work with, I think, is the Epic Game Store version, because it does not support downgrading the way it works. So if you've got it on GOG, if you've got it on GOG, super easy. If you got it on Steam, it should be able to do it. Like, it's all about, it has to go in, go back to the version that they had made the mod for originally, because I think they had to spend more time altering quite a few things, or making that rollback tool, essentially. Because they've been working on it for years and years, and then they upgraded the game and changed it.
I'm reading through it. Yeah, I'm reading through it, and this is pretty nuts. And if I were Bethesda, I'd be speaking to these guys and figuring something the fuck out here. A polite disclaimer from Team Folon. In typical Imperial British fashion, Fallout London will take over your Fallout 4 installation. And installing Fallout London will make irreversible changes to the default Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition install. So you'll also need to disable cloud saves, but This game has 200 quests to change London's future, 20 different factions bickering for power, 7 companions to bring along. This is a mod. 15 boroughs of London crafted from the ground up, bringing you a new warped and broken London, extended dialogue system to bring player choices to the table and carve your own story, an overhauled original soundtrack to bring personality to each nook and cranny, and original voice acting from all major characters, gangs, and factions. Absolutely bonkers. This is a mod.
Yeah, I think they had like
absolutely nuts.
They had like light support in the OK from Bethesda, because a lot of times companies, especially like Nintendo and others, will go after you if you try and like do a full-on conversion mod, make any money. That's why this is fully free, as long as you never try to make a penny from working on it and making it. They're normally pretty cool. It's an awesome looking thing. At some point, I wouldn't mind trying to figure this all out, and
I'd love to see you play it.
Yeah,
like, so clever. It's really smart. But yeah, what a cool story that is. Like, there's a side of games I absolutely love. Doesn't matter if they're not making any money, but they released it because they have love
a Patreon. They have a Patreon and Ko-fi. I think that's why they had that's why they had to get the OK from Bethesda, because they were making money while doing it.
Wow, fair enough.
And Bethesda is very cool about that. And I do see people like more talking in the chat, scoop them up and release it as a spin-off on consoles. That would be super neat. Who knows the logistics of it, but it would be really cool. I know Bethesda has hired many people from the modding community in the past. So it's like 343. So
I think it just goes against Todd Howard's quote of it will never be set anywhere other than America, right? So I'd love for this to make a damned good argument as to maybe you should consider it, because there's plenty of cool places in the world, and London is an awesome city. I'd love to play around in a destroyed version of.
You can.
There's lots of quirks about Britain that could be really translated well in Fallout, I think. So what do I know? But that's it. That's all of the news.
It'll always be ROI.
Indeed. That's all of the news. We have loved entertaining you for this past hour. If you enjoyed the show, please do hit that like button and consider hitting subscribe if you are new to the XboxEra team. You can check us out on XboxEra.com. If you really, really love what you do, you just watch the show and you're like, God damn, that was the best new show I ever did see, then head to patreon.com/XboxEra. I don't know why I did that. I was just, maybe it was nerves.
I don't know. I don't like that at all.
I apologize.
That was as bad as Jez's American accent. My God.
I'm just going to go. That's it. You see us out. I'm out of here.
Tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern, 12 British Standard Time. XboxEra Summer Subathon 2024 will be going at least 11-ish or so hours. Hopefully we'll go longer because things are going really good, and I'm feeling still awake while John's in bed. We'll see, but please join us. It's already scheduled. You can find it. We're doing our final PayPal-y, Patreon-y push to try and not go into massive debt for going to Gamescom, and to grow the Patreon so that we can keep doing this in general, because we really need it to grow if we want to keep doing this without having to pivot heavily to the really awful and boring SEO
the
article
stuff.
Yeah, because I like doing reviews and I like doing live streams, but those do keep me from doing the writing shitty articles that make 700 times as much money as a single stream does. So, yeah,
it is what it is. But with your help, we will continue onwards and strive and grow. So we really look forward to seeing you there. I think other people from the XboxEra team are going to be popping in, including everybody's favorite loudmouthed, ignorant Australian Special Nick.
Yeah.
So until then, we'll see you tomorrow for the subathon. Have fun, play games, try and be nice to each other, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.
Oh, we were in time.
Ciao
we
for
were
now.
in time. We were like, ciao for now, ciao for now, ciao for now. Ciao for now.
Ciao for now. Now for ciao.
Okay, bye.